What up, guy? Are you tired of making edits you're not proud of? Are you tired of spending months on a project only to scrap it? In this edit tutorial, I'm going to be helping you cultivate a framework that's going to make your editing process 75% faster. And it's also going to give you the added benefit of helping you be more creative. This way you'll be able to create transitions that will have people wondering, how the fuck did he think of that? So without further ado, let's get to it. This framework is 6 steps, okay? But six steps, okay? The first step in this framework is music. All great edits, at least my edits, I always start with the music because the music is basically the train track that my edit is going to flow on. So you want to make sure you have yourself a nice track. You want to find a song that is repeatable, that you can listen to over and over and over again, like at least 1,000 times without getting bored of. Because in this whole editing process, you will be playing back your music over and over and over again. Now, once you have the song, at least for me, every time I'm listening to a great song that I see potential in, I always get ideas. Now, these ideas are going to lead you into creating themes and concepts. So how exactly do I define these themes and concepts? The way I define themes they are the overarching umbrella of your edit. It's the main flair. It's the main thing. It's the main thing people see when they look at your edit. So an example, I'm going to use a very well-known one, right? Say Apollo, for example. An example of Apollo's themes is he uses the anime music video genre and plays off artists' albums. So it'll be like an anime edit mix, right? It'll be a mix. That's a version of a theme. Now, what exactly is a concept within this theme? The concept is the album in which he is editing to. So let's say he's editing to Yeats to a live album. That will then be the concept. So the theme is album mix, and then the concept is to alive. And the benefit of having a theme and a concept is it allows you to do research. You can go in online and find interviews as to why Yeat made this specific album, as to what inspired him to make it. And now you start having little bits and just little things you can refer to and implement into your own edit to give it some life, to let it vibrate at a higher degree, at a higher percentage than it otherwise would have. And you will reach a lot more people when you do it this way. Now, I'm going to give you guys an example of a simple project I worked on. Now, when you're writing your themes and concepts, I want you to create a Google Doc and simply write down the name of your edit. And then you want to write down what your theme for the edit is going to be and what your concept for the edit is going to be. The easy way I found to come up with concepts within my themes is to ask myself, like, what do I imagine when I'm listening to my track? This will easily help you create some concepts that you might want to explore. And concepts are also ideas, right? So for me, for this edit that you're seeing on your screen right now, I knew that I wanted to do a shot with a 360 into Goku doing a spirit bomb, and then that spirit bomb essentially turning into the planet Earth. And the theme for my edit was love, and the concept for it was unity. I wanted to bring everybody, everything, every religion. I didn't care what it was. I just wanted to bring that feeling we all know so well and present it. That's what I wanted to do. So now you're going to write down your themes and concepts, and that leads us to phase 3 of this whole process. And that phase is researching. You want to do as much research as possible, and you want to write down as much as possible. And in the research phase, what you're going to be doing is you are going to create a folder with your edit's name on it, and make sure it's on a drive that's big enough to take a lot of files. You're going to take that folder and you're going to start collecting as much as you can, things you find online, little resources, like clips that you find online, pictures that inspire you for the edit. You're going to find all these things you want to implement into your edit, things that your ideas have brought you to, and you're going to collect all of them. Make sure you're very organized in this stage, right? You want to create a folder for the images, and if you're doing like different animes, have a folder name. For example, let's say you're doing like Jujutsu Kaisen, right? Have a folder named JJK. If you're doing One Piece, have a folder named One Piece. If you're doing Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, other big ones, right? Like have a folder specific to that thing, like that edit. And then for the images, have a folder for images. What you're gonna find is if you start and you're hasty and you already want to edit when you don't have enough content, you're going to start editing and you're going to keep going back to the research phase. So take this stage very important. It is actually the most important part of creating your edit. You need to put in as much time into the research phase as possible, or else that promise I gave you where you will be saving 75% of your time, it won't be met. When you have a lot of clips, it's just like having B-roll. Where you find gaps in your edit, it's easy to find B-roll to fill it in if you have an abundance of B-roll. And that's the main purpose of this. You want to find as many clips as possible that are relevant to your edit, as many clips as possible that motivate you to want to edit. A good resource for finding clips is Sakugaboru. It's very easy to find good animation on there, and it will give you inspiration for which episodes you want to edit to. Another great resource for clips, I'll be leaving it in the description below. It's somebody created a mega with a whole bunch of anime clips, and I personally don't use it, but it's a good place to draw inspiration from for fight scenes. Alright, so next thing, now that you have your themes created, it's time to begin taking your edit and creating a storyboard. Now, what exactly is a storyboard? If you ever found yourself in the movie industry, what you notice is directors and artists often use storyboards to let everybody on the cast know what their plan is for certain scenes. So for this scene right here where you're watching me, right, they probably drew on the board, okay, I want a medium close shot of a guy speaking into a mic. Alright, you're that guy. So what you want to do is essentially that with your edit. You're going to perfect the audio. You're going to make sure that your audio track is what you want it to the final, or as close to the final as possible. Don't worry about sound effects and all that. That comes in the editing stage. But you want to make sure your audio is on point. Now that your audio is on point, you're going to take all these clips and all this material you've collected online, and you're just going to start cutting them on your timeline. So let's say you know that this clip goes from this beat to that beat. You're just going to simply cut it from that beat to the other, alright? You might speed up things a little bit if you want to, or like, personally, I'm very visual, so what I like to do, since I have the skill for it, I'll get things to look very close to how I want it in the end, but it's never edited to an extreme degree. It's just very light. It just gives me the idea of what the final outcome is going to look like. And you want to do the same thing. Be as thorough as you want, but I want to let you know this is not editing. You're in this storyboard section, you're not editing. You're just cutting things and going about very quickly, just getting an idea of what it looks like. Think of it as an artist drawing the main skeleton for what they plan to fill in with a character, like they're just loosely drawing circles and squares and getting a pose down before they finally go in and turn out a final rendition. That's basically what you're doing. You're just drawing a pose for your edit. All right. Now that you storyboarded when you export this file, you'll see that your edit basically looks complete. You could show it to anybody and they'll be like, oh, I get it. You know, they will have an idea of what your vision is because your vision is basically right there. All that is needed now is to finalize things. And that brings you into our next step, which is to actually now begin editing. So in the editing process, this is where you're refining things. You're going into your clips, you're getting the timing down, you're getting all your little effects down. And I have a personal rule for each project, and that is to try something I've never done before in every new project I do. So for this edit that you're seeing on here, I try to use a puppet pen tool to a higher degree than I did before. So I really challenged myself on a complicated piece to use a puppet pen tool, and I think it turned out pretty cool. So what you want to do is challenge yourself. You know, this is the editing phase. This is where all your little tricks as an editor, you begin to show. You know, you just go crazy, have fun. You've already done the groundwork. So now all that is left to do is to really just tighten things up and add effects to heighten the feel and emotion of what you're trying to convey. Now that the editing stage is done, congratulations, my friend. You have now created an edit from start to finish, and I promise you, if you use this framework I just showed you here, it's going to take you 75 to 80% faster than what it would if you otherwise just went online, found a clip, put it on a timeline, got it to the transition point, and then went back online again trying to find other clips. I've been there, I've done it, and trust me, it used to take me months to get edits done. And that isn't to say that I can't work on a project now that will take me a month or so, but if I did it that way, that project that's supposed to take me a month would take me a year. Try it out, and if it works for you, which I know it will, please share your work with me. I've got a Discord link in my bio. I'm looking forward to seeing what you create. Peace.
You and I must